It was an ordinary scorching afternoon in the suburbs, the kind of day when the heat seems to melt the pavement. 17-year-old Malik was walking home from his part-time job at the local grocery store, sweat dripping down his temple, backpack slung over one shoulder. His mind was on the usual stuff, homework, helping his mom with bills, and maybe, just maybe, saving up enough to fix his old bike. Life wasn't easy, but Malik was used to that. He had grown up hearing that if you wanted something, you had to work 10 times harder to get it. As he turned the corner of the quiet street, something caught his eye. A sleek, black sports car, clearly expensive, was parked awkwardly on the side of the road. The hood was popped open, and a man in an expensive suit was leaning over the engine, frustration written all over his face. Malik hesitated for a second. Should he just keep walking? This wasn't really his business, but something tugged at him. He knew a thing or two about cars thanks to countless afternoons spent in his uncle's garage. "Hey, sir, everything all right?" Malik called out, stepping closer. The man looked up, wiping sweat from his brow. He was probably in his late 40s, sharp-looking, but clearly out of his element. "Honestly, no," he said, a bit exasperated. "The engine just died on me, and I've got an important meeting in less than an hour." Malik peered under the hood, eyes scanning the engine. "Mind if I take a look? I've done a bit of work on cars." The man hesitated, glancing at Malik, just a skinny black kid in a worn-out t-shirt and sneakers. But seeing no other options, he stepped aside. "Be my guest." Malik rolled up his sleeves and got to work, his fingers deft and confident. The man watched in amazement as Malik diagnosed the issue quickly: a loose battery cable, something simple but enough to shut the whole car down. Malik tightened it, checked the connections, and after a few minutes closed the hood. "Try it now," Malik said, stepping back. The man slid into the driver's seat, turned the key, and the engine roared back to life. Relief flooded his face. He stepped out, beaming. "Wow, you fixed it. Just like that. What's your name, kid?" "Malik," he replied, wiping his hands on his jeans. "Well, Malik, you just saved my day. Thank you. I owe you one." As the man reached into his pocket to grab his wallet, Malik's eyes fell on something: a pendant hanging from a chain around the man's neck. At first, it seemed ordinary, but as Malik squinted, his breath caught in his throat. It was a pendant he had seen only once before, in an old photograph his mother kept hidden away. His legs felt weak. His heart raced. He froze. The man noticed Malik's expression change. "Hey, you okay?" Malik swallowed hard, eyes glued to the pendant. Where, where did you get that?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. The man frowned slightly, his hand instinctively touching the pendant. It's been in my family for years. Why?" Malik's mind was spinning. That pendant, it was identical to the one his late father had worn. The father he had never really known, who had disappeared from his life when Malik was just a baby. His mother never talked much about him, only that he had left and never come back. Malik had long stopped asking questions. But now, standing in front of this stranger, all those buried emotions came flooding back. I, "I've seen that pendant before," Malik said slowly, his eyes still locked on it. His mind was a whirlwind of memories: old boxes in the attic, faded photos, nights lying awake wondering why his father had left. He hadn't thought about that pendant in years, but now it was right here, inches away, swinging gently in the hot afternoon breeze. The man's brows knit together, clearly intrigued but cautious. "Where would you have seen this?" he asked, his voice lowering slightly. Malik took a shaky breath. "My dad. He used to have one just like that, before he left us." The man's expression shifted, curiosity flashing into something deeper, recognition, maybe even shock. But he masked it quickly. Your dad, what's his name? Marcus Reed, Malik answered without hesitation, feeling a strange mix of hope and fear rise up. He left when I was little. My mom never told me much. The man stood there, silent for a moment, staring at Malik like he was seeing a ghost. Finally, he muttered under his breath, Marcus Reed. You know him. Malik pressed, his voice tight, heart pounding now. The man hesitated, glancing away for a moment as if weighing his words. Then he sighed deeply, almost painfully. I knew Marcus. Very well, actually. We were close, business partners once. Malik's breath hitched. His instincts told him there was more, much more, but he couldn't quite piece it together. What happened to him? Where is he now? The man's eyes darkened. He passed away years ago. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you. A wave of cold swept through Malik despite the heat. He had always harbored some tiny hope that one day his dad might show up, explain everything, make it right. But now that hope was crushed in an instant. Still another question clawed at him. And the pendant? How did you get it? The man looked down at the small piece of jewelry, his fingers brushing it absently. Marcus gave it to me before everything fell apart. It was supposed to be a symbol of loyalty, of trust. We had big dreams together once. Malik swallowed hard, trying to process everything. He felt like he had stepped into a movie, except this was his life, raw, messy, real. The man studied him for a long moment, then said, Listen, Malik, I don't believe in coincidences. You showing up here today, helping me out of the blue, it's strange, but maybe it's fate. I owe your father a debt I can never fully repay. And maybe helping you is a way to start making that right. Malik blinked, unsure what to say. His world had just shifted dramatically, and now this man, this millionaire, was offering something he didn't fully understand yet. The man extended his hand, eyes serious. My name's Mr. Harris. Why don't you come with me? Let's talk. I think there's more to this story than either of us realized. Malik hesitated for a brief second, glancing down the street toward his home, where his mom was probably waiting for him. But deep inside, he knew this was a once-in-a-lifetime moment, something bigger than his routine life. He nodded slowly. All right, let's talk. Mr. Harris smiled, unlocking the passenger door. Hop in. Malik slid into the luxurious car, the leather seats a stark contrast to anything he was used to. The engine purred as Mr. Harris pulled back onto the road, driving in silence for a few minutes. Malik stared out the window, his mind racing. Who really was this man? And what was his true connection to his dad? They pulled up to a towering glass building downtown, a skyscraper that Malik had seen 1,000 times but never imagined stepping inside. Welcome to Harris Enterprises, Mr. Harris said as they exited the car. Security guards nodded respectfully as they passed, and Malik followed Mr. Harris through polished marble halls up to a private office with floor-to-ceiling windows. Mr. Harris gestured for Malik to sit, then poured them both water. He leaned forward, clasping his hands together. All right, Malik, let's lay it all out. Your dad and I started this company together years ago. We came from nothing, two ambitious guys who wanted to build something big, and we did. But somewhere along the line, things got complicated. Malik listened, hanging on to every word. Marcus, your dad, he was smart, driven, but he trusted the wrong people. A deal went bad. There were betrayals, and he ended up taking the fall for something he didn't do. He left the company and the city, not by choice, but because he thought it was the only way to protect his family. Malik's heart sank. Protect us? So he didn't just abandon us? No, Mr. Harris said firmly. Your dad loved you and your mom more than anything, but he was caught in something bigger than himself. I tried to help, but by the time I figured out what was really going on, he was gone. Tears pricked the corners of Malik's eyes. His entire life, he believed his dad had simply walked out, leaving them to struggle alone. Now, this truth hit him like a ton of bricks. Mr. Harris continued, that pendant, it was a symbol between us, a reminder that no matter how bad things got, we had each other's backs. I've worn it every day since he left, as a way to honor him. Malik swallowed hard, emotions flooding his chest. Why are you telling me all this now? Mr. Harris leaned back. Because you deserve to know. And because, Malik, you've got the same fire your dad had. You didn't just walk past me today. You stepped up when you didn't have to. That tells me a lot about your character. Malik was quiet for a long moment. Finally, he asked, what happens now? Mr. Harris smiled slightly. That's up to you. I want to offer you something, an internship here at my company. I want to mentor you, show you the ropes. Your dad started building something here, and I think it's only right that his son gets the chance to carry that legacy forward. Malik's eyes widened. Are you serious? Dead serious, Mr. Harris said. It's not charity. You've already proven you're smart and capable. This is about giving you the shot you deserve. Malik sat back, overwhelmed but hopeful. His life had just changed in ways he couldn't have imagined when he woke up that morning. The next few weeks flew by in a blur. Malik, still adjusting to the surreal turn his life had taken, found himself stepping into a whole new world. Every morning he traded his usual walk past broken sidewalks for a ride in the elevator up to the 30th floor of Harris Enterprises. The office buzzed with energy, phones ringing, meetings in glass-walled conference rooms, people in sharp suits moving with purpose. At first, Malik felt like an outsider, a kid from the neighborhood who didn't belong. But Mr. Harris was true to his word. You've got potential, he'd remind Malik in every meeting, every training session, and you're earning your spot here. Malik soaked up everything: business strategy, negotiation tactics, financial planning. It wasn't easy, and there were days he doubted himself, days when he'd stir his spreadsheets and wondering if he was in over his head. But he remembered his dad's story, the sacrifices made, and that fueled him to push harder. One afternoon, while organizing old pencils in Mr. Harris's office, Malik stumbled upon a faded photo. It was of two men, Mr. Harris, much younger, and another man who looked hauntingly familiar. Malik's breath caught. His father. He picked up the photo, studying it closely, feeling a deep ache, but also a strange sense of pride. Mr. Harris walked in just then, pausing when he saw Malik holding the picture. That was us, Mr. Harris said quietly, right before it all went wrong. Malik looked up. He looks proud, strong. He was, Mr. Harris nodded. And so are you. Malik placed the photo back, his resolve solidifying. I want to keep going. I want to learn everything. For him, for my mom, for me. Mr. Harris smiled, resting a hand on Malik's shoulder. That's exactly what I hoped you'd say. Months turned into a year, and Malik's confidence grew. He became known around the office, not as the intern Mr. Harris brought in out of pity, but as a rising star with ideas and grit. He even got the chance to pitch a project, a community outreach program aimed at helping disadvantaged youth gain access to education and job training. When Malik stood in the boardroom that day, presenting his vision, he saw something he'd never forget. Pride in Mr. Harris's eyes, and quiet, respectful attention from the other executives. After the meeting, Mr. Harris pulled Malik aside. Your dad would be proud of you. You're not just following in his footsteps, you're blazing your own path. And for the first time in a long time, Malik truly believed that. He walked out of the building, looking up at the sooty skyline, the same streets he'd grown up on, but now seen from a whole new perspective. Life had thrown him unexpected turns, revealed secrets he never could have imagined. But through it all, he discovered something unshakable, his own strength. And as he fingered the new pendant around his neck, a gift from Mr. Harris engraved with his father's initials and his own, Malik knew this was just the beginning of a legacy reborn.